We are live. This is Joseph R. Wheeler, the third artist founder and the president of the ONYXCON Foundation. And tonight we got a special show. What's up, fam?
How you doing?
I can hear you. It's your picture's a little.
Not much, brother.
What's up? Go ahead.
Joe said I'm an old friend from the way back, natural born, AT-alien, sci-fi and comic and blurred aficionado. I try to be a Renaissance person. I enjoy all types of activities, travel being one, which I think we're going to talk about a little bit later. Sports and activities, adventures, all that kind of stuff. That's me. You know, I'm always down for a good time.
That is.
Good, clean fun. Good, clean, wholesome fun.
So that's a real good. I like that. I like that. That's a good breakdown. I always say when I think of my boy Sherwin Brown, I think of comic books, all things related to that, travel, the Falcons when they acting right, or any of his other teams, and the best times that we can all talk about being single men with the ladies in our lives. So that's what I think about when I think of Sherwin Brown. So yeah. So there it is. And he is an Atlanta fireman, by the way. Let's speak of that history. So that's real official right there. Look at that. That thing is cool. I've seen this in person, by the way, y'all. That thing is super dope. Super dope. 100%. They're gonna want you to fully cosplay now. You need to get a black and red whole fireman suit.
I was actually thinking about that. I've been if the gear, I got some old gear. I was thinking of maybe getting it airbrushed and jazzing it up. I thought about it, but I was like, it'd be.
So before we get into it, I was promising them before you got on here, a friend of mine who's in the comic book world and is a legend in his own right. I love to call people legends when they are. You know what I'm saying? People don't get their props worthy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying this brother is in Baltimore. B More, shout out. You know what I'm saying? He's a native, as I remember. His name, he goes by Uraeus, which is the ancient Kemetic name and God, if you know the history of Egypt. But he's Rich Tyler is his name, and the brother is the creator of Jason Wise, the comic book series. If you ever heard of that, it's one of these independent black comic books, very prolific. We posted about it here, and he also created the T-shirt line that had the simple, bold message that just said "Black Heroes Matter." If you've seen that T-shirt on a lot of celebrities and stuff, it was because of this man right here, because he personally took his own money in the campaign to start this line of clothing and this just whole message. And he's got other versions of the T-shirt too that he's designed, because he's a visual artist too. He's a graphic designer. Shout out to somebody else that wears all them hats like I do. And he started sending them out to a lot of legends in Hollywood, and people were feeling it. So you'll see a lot of like celebrity black, actors and actresses and other people. And even he did a line for other ethnicities to make sure everybody felt included. But he did a special program for this annual black panel that they do. Okay, and I've been to it. I've been to Comic-Con twice, and the last time I was there, I attended that panel, and it was dope. They had, trying to remember some of the people who were on there. I want to say, oh my gosh, what's the brother who did the Boondocks? I'm talking about the original creator, the cartoonist. Thank you. Magruder was there. I got to meet Aaron Magruder. I actually had a quick conversation with Magruder. Amazing. And I'm going to start flipping through it here in a minute. So, here's the back. That's another one of his logos Uraeus did. I know his style, and he created this other version of the Black Heroes Matter logo. It says, please join us immediately following this panel for our 5th annual Black Heroes Matter family photo, which they did. It's already been archived online on Instagram. You can find that if you look up his page. Jason Wise, is he on Jason Wise? Black Superheroes, Black Heroes Matter, you'll see it. My man, thank you, Brian. He told me he can see it clear. And then it's got the blackheroesmatter.biz if you want to look at the actual website. So check that. But yo, let's get into it, yo, because like I said, I didn't even know what the cover or nothing looked like. I just knew he was gonna do this. Okay, cool. That's Uraeus. So I don't even have to tell you. That's who he is right there. That's the brother. And he's wearing one of his famous shirts. some more artwork he did for his, or had someone do for his project, because I don't think that's his style. That's one of his other artists that he's commissioned for something. This is him, I know. I know he did those. The future of Black creativity. That was the topic. That was the panel. The moderator. So this is pretty much the program of the panel, y'all. You know, if you didn't attend this year, if you didn't go to Comic-Con, you getting it just like I'm getting it right now. Brian Benjamin. I know who that is. He's a prolific artist, hell of an artist. I've met him before too out there last time I was out there. Who is this? Travis Williams. Some of these folk, like I say, I know, and others I don't, but it's all family. We all connected in what we do. Davina Mackey, Executive Director of the Q&A. This very, very important book. This is a little booklet that was a program from the official creativity panel at Comic-Con this year that was sent to me by Brother Urias, who is the guy who created the Black Superheroes Matter brand and t-shirts and all of that. And I was just flipping through the book, and we're gonna have my guest join me back in here. Let me see if I can get him back in. Get him on board again. What's up, Cy? I see you, girl. Man, I ain't seen you in a minute. How's the family? What's good? So, yeah. Here we go. He's back. I think I heard something. I mean, you still.
I said technology. I heard you, but my technology is over here.
Man.
Evidently, I'm working with a flip phone. I guess I got a Motorola Sky Page over here. I guess
you got that Nokia.
Well, I got a Nokia 3600. You know that thing don't go down for nothing. Golly. Sorry about that, sir.
So I was showing him the book. I was about halfway through, and I was showing this prolific page where you see my lady who won all the awards from Black Panther. She got one. Christine Adams from Black Lightning, my homegirl, okay, who I've been on set with many times on the show, if you didn't know. Who is that? That's, oh my gosh, I know his name and I'm forgetting it right now. Of course, there's the man himself, Black Lightning. You know what I'm saying? Crest. Who else is up in this thing? Sanford Green. Who else I know? Oh, is that Spike? Yeah, that's Spike. Spike was somebody wearing it. I don't know the sister next to him. Whatchamacallit from Black Lightning, my girl, played the young sister. Pardon that I'm forgetting all these legends' names. It ain't because I don't expect. It's just some people's names pop in my head instantly, and other folks I got to go do a Google and not even front. You know, I mean, you know, with Christine, I was in scenes with her on Black Lightning, so I will never forget her name. And she's been a guest at at ONYXCON. She was our last celebrity guest, so I can't forget that name. It's etched in my brain. To highlight the gathering of all the major Black folk to come out to Comic-Con. I wonder if, it's funny, I'm remembering, well, I'll be damned, he did. I'm sorry, I'm gonna tell y'all while I'm laughing. Urias, man, oh my gosh. Thank you irregardless, but this picture is so damn old. He got a, oh my gosh, Sherwin's, I was laughing because he used picture. When he asked me for my statement, he didn't ask me for a picture, right? And you see all these people got these awesome pictures in here. He went and dug up some picture for me on Instagram. When I tell you this is probably the first thing I ever posted on Instagram, that's how old this picture is. I was still wearing my full head of hair. Well, not full head, but fade of hair. Oh my God, look at this. This picture old as hell. Oh my God.
That was a while ago.
That was a while ago. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even had no grays in my mustache or nothing.
Yeah, that was he found that on MySpace.
I am bugging. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh man, that's funny. I just wish he had sent me. If he had asked me, I would have sent him a newer picture. But anyway, it's all cool. Y'all know, right? For real. So as a traveler, man, I've been talking a lot about it, and I've been trying to get people to go over to our YouTube and subscribe so that they can be a part of what's about to jump off when we do more and more official content under the guise of what I call now the ONYXCON Travel Club, which, by the way, you are one of the founding members. Yes, you are. Just want you to know. You're officially that. Yes, you are. Oh, yeah. Because this man here has traveled for real. I'm trying to catch up on all kind of eras of life, you know what I'm saying? For various circumstances in my 20s and 30s, I didn't do it. But here I am with no regrets, making it start happening. And this is a brother of mine around my same age. I think we're the exact same age, but probably about some months, yeah. But he's done it. And just for example, if you don't mind, tell them some of your, like, I mean, I know it's hard to do top 5, top 10. Maybe give me top 10 of all the places you've been.
Top 10? That's not hard. I mean, Thailand, Iceland, Bali, Brazil, France, Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, everything's kind of like them all. I mean, there wasn't anything that just like jumped. One thing wasn't explosively bigger than any of the others. After that, but those first 4 or 5 are the ones that kind of really just jump out as the most impactful, the ones that I remember very distinctly, because there were so many things that were so different about where I was. So it really took me to another place. It took me, you know, it changed your perspective on how you see things in the world, you know, getting to interact with things. So I didn't get too deep into those places, but I've been there, and those places I definitely would go back again and enjoy.
You know, man, I love that statement, and I want you to, if you don't mind, elaborate on what you mean by how different each place was and why it opens you up to things. Because for me, one of the #1 reasons why I'm pushing this as a major part of ONYXCON now is because I always knew I had to travel as an artist, especially because everybody I admire as an artist, they travel. Or once I started researching their lives, I found that they did. And I see it in their work. You see that once you start seeing the entire world, and not just through a book or through someone else's experience. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, if it weren't for the annals of other people doing it and me researching that all my life, I wouldn't have anything to have created my worlds off of and my characters and stuff. But once you, like, when I just went to Chichen Itza in the Yucatan and stood in front of one of the 8 wonders, stood in front of Chichen Itza's main pyramid, I'm like, I'll never forget the way I felt when I walked out there on that super hot, blazing day. I'm thinking to myself, like, it had been so much buildup that by the time I was standing there, I'm looking at like, yo, that's actually it. Like, that's really this. I'm breathing. I'm alive. This is happening. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even seem real because it looks exactly like every photo, every movie, every documentary you've ever seen. And it is just that accurate in its building structure. It is incredible to see that thing in person, you know? So like for you, you know, just you know, a little bit about that kind of feeling. Like, what has it been to you?
I mean, honestly, as I've traveled and as I've gone different places, it helps put the world, I guess, itself in a different perspective. So it does 2 things. One, it tells me that my current situation and our current environment, though it may be a little iffy, isn't that bad in certain ways, in certain angles that you look at it. But you also look at it as this is not the only way, and this is not the only thing that a person can do to live and be happy and experience their lives or whatever. So it just really kind of evens me out to, you know, my situation, my perspective, my worldview, and those things. So that's kind of one. You know, you see different cultures, you see different people, you talk to them, you see how they live, you see how you know their comfort levels, their experience levels, and it just kind of puts you. Sometimes we can be so inwardly focused on our lives and everything. Either we think everything is horrible over here, or we think we got the best thing going in the absolute world. And it's like, you know what? It's all kind of a wash. Just different sides of the same coin or different ways of perspectives of looking at life. So that's kind of my biggest thing that I've noticed on a lot of them.
Starting with Mexico, because of the fact that I just came back from that a matter of weeks ago. You know, you had just recently today, I think, posted something about your previous travels, and you had made it to Tulum. Now, Tulum was the one place I didn't get a chance to go in that region. And I've heard mixed stories about Tulum because people who went years ago, before it became such a hot spot, and all these folk, you know what I'm saying, going there for social media pics and you know, all this, you know, from celebrities to just folk here that, you know, are famous online doing what they do, it's blown up. And I even saw recently on somebody's content, somebody who had been back and forth many times to Tulum on YouTube was saying that they're about to build an airport in Tulum. I said, oh my gosh, it's over. Like, I was like, if there's more than one airport in the region besides Cancun, it's over. Like, I don't know that I'm going to get a chance to see the Tulum that everybody talked about when it was just mystical and way more low and not as expensive. So, like, what was it like for you, your first time going there, and even by the next time you went there?
Well, so Tulum, so I guess everybody probably knows, but Tulum, I basically say when people say Tulum, I'm basically going to Cancun. So Cancun is to Playa del Carmen and to Tulum like Atlanta is to Decatur or Stone Mountain. Honestly, it's not far at all. Tulum is probably an hour and a half or 2 hours. I enjoy it. It was very beautiful. I could see the appeal of it because it is different from the gigantic resorts that you have in Cancun and those areas that are really built up and developed. These are more like boutique type resorts, kind of a little more personal feel resorts. So there's a lot of Airbnbs and other things.
Okay, so that last part got cut off. You said something about the Airbnbs there.
I said they have a lot of Airbnbs there that you can kind of rent. So you kind of, like I said, you can do this whole just come in and just chill. You don't have to worry about dressing up, dressing down. You just super chill. You get there with a week and all you came in with a backpack because all you're wearing is board shorts and tank tops on it. That's your whole life.
Okay.
So.
Now, based on that description, how many years ago was that?
That I went, or you could do the board shorts?
Well, either. You know, yeah, either.
I think I traveled there in either 2019 or 2020.
Okay, it's recent.
I know it was pandemic-y when I went to Tulum. Mm-hmm. I know it was right at, like they had just opened up and you could just start flying a few places. So we were like, screw it, I'm going somewhere. Right. So, but when like I said, I've been to Cancun several different times over the past 20 odd years.
That's what's up. Yeah, I mean, I wish I had went before now, but it is what it is because I see why so many people go all the time. It's affordable to get there. It's expensive once you are there. Getting there ain't the problem. You can get the $200 ticket if you buy it early enough, round trip. But more like $3 once they add in them damn bag fees on Frontier like they did me.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you go on the cheaper airline, but you get nickel and dime on every little thing, or you just gotta find a week when Southwest or Delta or American has a sale, and then that's when you go.
There it is, y'all. Y'all got a big tip with that. I agree. I've learned that. And I think that helps you also with the layovers because depending on where else you might go, you don't have to deal with a layover going there as much. But, like, I know from experience when I did Malaysia, man, I made up a new plan on travel because, I always tell people, I said, that was an unexpected journey of a lifetime. It was many circumstances involved. It was personal and it was, for business, for ONYXCON, for content. But when I got into Istanbul, which you've been to Turkey too, you told me, and I kept, I know you said you loved it, and I felt so bad that I didn't get a chance to really explore it. All I did was sit up in the airport all day. Because the other thing is, there's two things I found out that made me realize, think twice about it all. Like, still do it, but just be realistic about what it is when you travel. You can't come out. You got to have a visa. Like in Turkey, you got to have a visa. I don't know how much theirs is, But like just the other day, for example, I was thinking about Australia, and I had announced, hey, we might try and do Australia. And I don't know if you saw that video I did, but man, I said, wait a minute, let me go look up what the visa is. It's almost like 200 and some change for the visa for Australia. I'm like, well, goddamn, like it's like you add that to your hotel, and it's like everything changes. It just adds more to the bill and more to the fundraising we have to do here at ONYXCON because, quite frankly, I made these last 2 trips happen in part by people who support what we're doing. And thank you again on air. I like to tell those folks, thank you, yourself included, what I'm saying, for just being a part of the everyday functions of ONYXCON. This brother sends me a lot of content, y'all, suggestions. I consider him one of my DM contributors of suggested content because him and my man Zeno, shout out Zeno, and a few other people, but those my main 2 always sending me stuff. And I'd be like, sometimes we laugh, we like, oh, I already saw it. I saw that. But sometimes it'd be some stuff. I'd be like, damn, how'd I miss this? Yeah, I'm gonna repost that, so thank you, man. But it's like really a lot of people, I learned from that long layover. You can get more passport stamps if you can afford the extra trip. Even if I had to do it over, I would do at least 2 or 3 days, like a weekend in Istanbul, just to have a little taste of it and then get back on the plane and finish up going to Malaysia. You know what I'm saying? Now that I know that's one of the stops you're going to more than likely have to do, So have you ever done it like that? Like, done 2 trips?
Well, sort of in a couple different ways. So when I went to Iceland, what was going on was Iceland has these different times of year where they try to promote more tourism. So they get with the airline and then they start giving you really inexpensive trips to Europe, but you have to lay over for a day or so in Iceland. So when I went, I flew in, we stayed in Iceland like 3 days, and then we flew to Paris for like 2. And then we were in Paris for just a couple of days, then came back, stopped over in Iceland again for just a few hours, and then traveled back to the States. So that's how we got to see the 2 countries. And when I went to Thailand and Bali, I flew on Qatar Air, and Qatar Air stops in Doha. So and they have ridiculously long layovers. So I had an option of a 8-hour layover or a 18-hour layover. I chose an 18-hour layover, but this is why the airline that they had deals so you could get a hotel and stay in Doha instead of staying at the airport. And the hotel was probably $35, maybe $40, and it was as nice as a Hilton or a Marriott or any nice brand hotel. They had a shuttle that picked you up from the airport and then brought you back to the airport. So what I did was I flew, I got off, traveled into Doha, checked into the hotel, and then they have a lot at the airport. They have 4-hour tours that you can jump on, and you can just, while you're at the airport, you can take a 4-hour tour to take you around. You can take some pictures, sightsee, and it'll bring you back because they have these. I mean, like a short layover is like 6 hours. So they have these long layovers, and so that's what I did. I was like, well, I can make it a day. So I went, walked down, went to a bazaar, took some pictures by the water, and then made it back to my hotel. Got something to eat, had a nice little buffet restaurant at the hotel. I slept in a bed and got up the next morning and got back to my flight. So I've done that way. So I figured what I said, if I travel on that other side of the earth again, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to plan a 2-day stop in a connecting country. And there are several countries that connect. Like there are a lot of flights that connect in Amsterdam. Stay in Amsterdam for 2 days and then continue flying and then kind of do the same. So that was kind of my. So.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm glad to hear you saying that. Like I said, you're way more experienced than me, but I know I wasn't the only one thinking this way. And I've learned that this is how a lot of my friends that travel hardcore have added up all them passport stamps. It's like once you start doing it and realizing how you're going to have them layovers, you may as well get more out of your trip than just what your target place was. You can get multiple,
And a lot of my trips, I have to admit, a lot of my trips were not planned by me. I didn't plan. the bigger trips were not planned by me at all. I would travel with the travel group, and the young lady that ran the travel group, she's probably been to every place she probably been to Wakanda, she probably been to Asgard, she been everywhere. So she would plan the trips out. So basically, I just had to give her some money, and she would make a lot of trips, dual trips, 2-country trips, so I could get 2 countries in, or at least like when we were in Bali, we stayed in 3 different cities. Like we basically worked our way all the way across the country, staying in the major regions. So yeah, see a lot.
That's the way to move. I love it. I love it, and that's how I want to be able to do it when I'm doing it officially. Let me ask you this, because this helped me brainstorm for the ONYXCON Travel Club concept. In general, I mean, if you did like a mean average, I love, I was never a fan of math, but I love mean average. That's like my favorite thing to do. I don't want to never hear you say nothing else bragging about your phone. So this is my dude. We done traveled together, and he loved to brag about. He one of them people who are like, I got the iPhone. You want to mess with your Apple and stuff.
I'm not on the phone.
You're not on the.
I'm not on the phone. No.
Maybe that's the problem. You need you on the phone.
I was using my tablet over my good Wi-Fi. I thought my Wi-Fi was good. Ain't nothing on. I got nothing else connected to it. I got all these dang G's I'm paying for. Comcast take 2 ounces of blood every time you doggone,
Hell yeah. I know. Do you want to try the phone, or is it just not the way you want to do it?
No, I wanted to leave because I didn't want the phone to ring or start texting anything, so I kind of wanted to leave it alone.
Okay, I understand. So anyway, I would make a joke about that, but I'm gonna leave you alone. anyway, so basically, with the travel groups that you've been in, what would generally be the average annual fee, or did y'all do an annual fee?
It wasn't an annual fee for the group. The young lady would search out trips, put them out, and then we were on a thing called Meetup, and then she would be like, "Hey, be ready," and then a Meetup would come and it would pop up, and then there would be basically the trip would pop up, and then everybody who wanted to sign up would basically sign up and put their deposit in, and that's how they reserve their space. So most of the time the trips were about probably under 20 people. Be a nice solid group. It was easy to manage about 15, 16, 20 people or whatever, depending on the group, because it would be a lot involved. But depending on, let's see, so if you include airfare is the factor that changes everything, because once you go across the earth, once you get to Thailand is not expensive at all. The damn flight to Thailand is what breaks you. Get there, and once you get there, it's cool. You can stay at fantastic places for simple prices. So I would say my thing is, I say that if you get about $2,500, you can go almost anywhere for about 4 or 5 days, depending on how luxurious you want your travel. If you got to have 6 stars and you got to have a butler that comes and feeds you every hour, then you're gonna pay. But if you can stay at a place that has that's as nice as a nice Marriott or a nice hotel or something like that, and be okay with it, then you can probably get away with it for about 25. I'd say like 2,500. Like, you got 2,500, you can go on a decent trip.
There it is.
Unless you want to go, like I said, all depends on your ballerificness.
Right.
How
it's gonna kill you.
If you want to ball till you fall, if you want to live caviar dreams and champagne wishes, then it gets more expensive. But if you're okay with just like, this is nice, this is real cool.
Right.
I mean, I've gone and I was happy. I mean, it looked great to me. So,
right. Yeah.
And the young lady that coordinated the trips, she would travel a lot, and she would actually go search out places. So she would look at sometimes we would stay at boutique hotels, and they were nice, but they were a little bit less expensive than like the major chain hotels, but they were nice, they were comfortable, they were cool, and then it reduced that price down. And it also gave you kind of a more of a feel of where you were. Because like when we were in Turkey, we stayed at we stayed at these wild hotels. It was actually built from the caves that were in the mountains from like the olden times. So they lived there, but then they'd taken it over, converted them, turned the rooms into actual hotel rooms that were climate controlled and all that stuff. But it was like I'm staying in a mountain.
Right.
Okay. This is pretty interesting. So that was pretty. That was dope. That was cool. It looked like at night. It just looked amazing. Like what you would see, the visuals of it. It was like, man, this is straight out of a movie. So that was kind of. So we would find a lot of like that when we were in Turkey. We stayed in a little cool place right in the middle of the strip in like Istanbul, and we got to go right out and see the land.
That's that real travel. So I'm loving everything you're saying, because this is co-signing all of my philosophy on the ONYXCON Travel Club and how I want to approach it. You know, because I mean, I do have the big vision of ballerificness, but that is everything in its due time. You know what I'm saying? If I were already the guy y'all know from some major TV show or some huge movies franchise, and I've already bought my yacht, and I got my select group of people from my inner circle that's going to be on my yacht, and then I hire a few other yachts to take my people who are part of the club who've been rolling with us for 10 years because they didn't sleep when I told them to go over and subscribe to the YouTube, because they understand that when Joseph R. Wheeler III has a vision, he has a track record of always doing even more than he expected if you just pay attention. But if you keep sleeping, you will not go. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, see, I know what can happen. So like that day will be there. You know, we'll have the ONYXCON Yacht Club. Like this is something I've literally thought of. As much as I love fishing and boating and that whole culture, I'm dead serious. I want to live all of that, you know, with the best of my folk to come with me and enjoy that. But I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, when I get to that Mansa Musa level, we'll do Mansa Musa. In the meantime, we're going to do, like you said, hardcore, but still suave backpacker level. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be smooth and clean and fresh and having our fun and still in some dope places on the side of mountains in Turkey. You know what I'm saying? There's ways to do it. People just, you know, it's funny. So many people, what you just described, I know they don't, I mean, only the best. What's also hilarious about the illusion of wealth and how some people travel, where they think that unless I see what I consider a resort, they would never even consider or even look up something like what you described